There was a time in Australia when the automotive scene was more than just about cars. It was about rivalry, pride, and national identity. Out of this competitive atmosphere emerged an engine that would go far beyond what its creators had imagined. The battle resembled the legendary Shelby versus Ferrari clashes of the 1960s, but this time it was happening 3 decades later, with Ford Australia and Holden as the fierce opponents. Both companies were building machines that defined the local market, not only fighting on the racetrack, but also in the showroom. Holden had already made waves with the Commodore, introducing the LS V8 to Australian streets, a billion-dollar project by General Motors designed to modernize the small-block Chevy formula without abandoning its pushrod heritage. Ford, however, decided to take a different route, simpler, more innovative, and certainly more cost-effective. Instead of designing something entirely new, they turned to their tried and tested Inline-6. By updating its design, reinforcing it with modern technology, and adding a turbocharger, they created a power plant that would change Australian performance culture forever. Internally codenamed Barramundi, yes, named after the fish, it became better known simply as the Barra. This engine quickly earned a reputation as a tuner's dream, immensely durable, easy to modify, and capable of producing staggering amounts of power without breaking a sweat. It wasn't long before the Barra captured the imagination of car enthusiasts everywhere, proving itself to be not only reliable, but also a force that could rival some of the most celebrated engines from Japan, Germany, and America. For Ford, the Barra wasn't just another engine. It was their answer to Holden's dominance on both the sales charts and the racetrack. By the late 1990s, Holden had been on a winning streak, especially in Australia's iconic V8 Supercars Championship, where the Commodore was nearly untouchable. Their HSV lineup, Holden Special Vehicles, the brand's equivalent of BMW's M Division, was producing high-performance monsters like the HSV GTS Series 2. Powered by a Corvette-derived LS1 that had been fine-tuned by Callaway, this car made around 400 horsepower, cementing Holden as the performance king of the time. Meanwhile, Ford's lineup was starting to look outdated. The Falcon's aging inline-6s and Windsor-based V8s were solid and dependable, but they couldn't keep up with Holden's new age muscle. Something had to change, and it did, thanks to Ford's special vehicle operations led by Gordon Barfield. He pushed forward the idea of turbocharging the Falcon's 4.0-liter inline-6, a move that would eventually evolve into what enthusiasts call Project Go, because, as Barfield himself put it, they knew it would go past everything. After $500 million Australian dollars invested in the new Falcon and tens of thousands of hours of durability testing, the world was introduced to a re-engineered, homegrown powerhouse, the Ford Barra. It wasn't just an engine. It was a declaration that Ford was ready to fight Holden's LS-powered lineup with a creation of their own.
The heart of the Barra was its incredibly strong foundation. Built as a closed-deck design, the block was engineered to withstand extreme cylinder pressures, a feature it shared with legendary Japanese straight sixes like the Nissan RB and Toyota 2JZ. While those Japanese engines were cast from high-grade gray iron, strength in a block doesn't just come from hardness, it comes from thoughtful engineering. With a bore of 92.26 mm and a stroke of 99.31 mm, the Barra was destined to produce serious torque, but piston speeds became excessive at very high RPM. For this reason, Ford engineers wisely set the red line at 6,000 RPM. Like all inline-6 engines, the Barra benefited from perfect primary and secondary balance, meaning its reciprocating forces naturally canceled out, resulting in smooth operation even under heavy load. Sitting atop this robust iron block was a modern aluminum cylinder head. It featured an all-new design and incorporated twin-independent variable cam timing, offering 60 degrees of adjustment. Inspired by technology used in BMW's 6 cylinders, this system allowed the Barra to optimize performance across the rev range, delivering better exhaust flow to spool the turbocharger at low RPM, improved fuel economy under light loads, and a steady, refined idle. Boost came from a Garrett GT3540 ball-bearing turbocharger, both oil and water-cooled, which in factory trim produced 240 kilowatts, 322 horsepower. In 2002, those numbers put the XR6 Turbo on par with Holden's LS1-powered Commodores, and the Barra wasn't even the flagship engine. Still, the XR6 Turbo brought a much-needed spark back into Ford's Falcon lineup. Of course, car enthusiasts immediately saw its true potential. The factory turbocharger was massively oversized for its rated output, easily capable of supplying enough air for 600 horsepower. The aftermarket quickly embraced the engine, pushing it far beyond stock limits. Adding to its appeal was the sheer variety of Barra engines produced. Whether it was the silver-top naturally aspirated, the red-top turbo engines, the black-top Territory versions, the green-top LPG variants, or the blue-top FPV performance models, they all shared the same durable iron block and forged crankshaft. These parts were so strong that 4-digit power levels were achievable with the right supporting modifications. The key differences lay in pistons and connecting rods. Early naturally aspirated and pre-2006 turbo engines came with weaker 1R rods, nicknamed spaghetti rods, that could still survive around 400 kilowatts, 530 horsepower. Later versions introduced sturdier 3R rods, which were found in the updated turbo engines, the FPV blue top models, the green top LPG variants, and the black top Territory engines. With these stronger internals, hitting 530 kilowatts, 720 horsepower at the wheels was straightforward. Many tuners discovered that even a discarded taxi-spec green-top short block, combined with upgraded cylinder head parts, valve springs, and an E85 tune, could produce Hellcat-level numbers for a fraction of the cost. It's no wonder the Barra gained the reputation as a bargain compared to the pricier RB26 and 2JZ. In fact, some Barra builds have exceeded 2,000 horsepower while still using the stock block and crankshaft. The Barra-powered Falcons weren't just dyno heroes, they also became icons in law enforcement. Across Australia and New Zealand, the XR6 Turbo was adopted as a police pursuit vehicle. It was fast, comfortable, and tough enough to keep up with offenders. During the 1990s, police had struggled against lighter turbocharged imports like Subaru WRXs and Mitsubishi Evos, which could easily outrun standard patrol cars. The XR6 Turbo changed that balance of power, making would-be offenders think twice before attempting a getaway. Its performance was so well regarded that Ford even explored exporting a left-hand drive version to the US in 2005 and again in 2009 as a potential replacement for the aging Crown Victoria. Unfortunately, executives in Detroit blocked the proposal, leaving the market open to Holden, which successfully exported its Caprice as the Chevrolet PPV. Despite its success, the end of the Falcon was inevitable. In 2016, after 56 years of production, Ford Australia retired the iconic model, bringing the Barra's reign to a close. Yet its legacy remains undeniable. Just as Americans celebrate the LS, the Coyote, and the Hemi, Australians proudly regard the Barra as their own homegrown legend. Unlike its rivals, however, the Barra was never officially exported in volume. Australia and New Zealand kept it largely to themselves. And given what it became, it's hard to blame them.